All right, and so that takes us right into the next fight. We have Aiemann Zahabi, some more Beaver bias there, fighting out of Montreal, Canada. He's taking on Drako Malfoy, Drako Rodriguez.
I love you because when I see that name, I get the exact same thing in my head. I can't lie, Drako Malfoy. For some reason, this kid turned into some blonde English kid. I don't know why, but that's exactly what I saw too.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was a made-up name by J.K. Rowling, and now to see it in somebody else, I'm like, no, that was an actual name. So, our boy here, he's fresh out of the Dana White Contender Series. He won against Mana Martinez. He's making his UFC debut. He's 24 years old. Should be a very interesting and exciting prospect for sure. He's taking on Zahabi, who made his UFC debut back in 2017. So that was a decision win against Reginaldo Vieira. But since then, I mean, he's only fought twice. That's 2 fights in 3 years. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what the reasoning is behind the layoff or whatnot, but both of those were losses. Since his UFC debut, he lost to Ricardo Ramos by KO, and man, that was actually on the GSP Bisping card. Mm-hmm. Like, when's the last time you heard those names other than in commentating? That's so crazy.
Or in Khabib gossip.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen GSP's latest videos with the gray hair?
Yeah.
A lot of people saying online he looks like a lesbian, but I'm not going to dive into that because GFC's my boy. But so, that was a while ago, and, more recently he lost to Vince Morales in decision. Overall, I see this as being just a tough one for a Canadian boy, just not having a lot of reps recently. Prove me wrong here.
So it's funny. I'm about to blow your mind. So I don't know if you remember, but back in GSP's heyday, his coaching staff actually grew a lot of popularity. Do you remember the name Firaz Zahabi?
Yeah, it sounds real familiar.
Yeah, that's his brother. So Aiemann Zahabi is also trains with Georges St-Pierre and is coached by his brother, Firaz Zahabi.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
So they train
that Montreal connection right there, eh?
Yeah, so they all train together. Zahabi, like you said, hasn't fight much. I did a bit of digging into that. Not only did I watch the last 2 fights, he got absolutely decked out by a spinning elbow, a complete back elbow right to the face, just complete out. And then the next fight, just the more technical fighter really took it to him. What I enjoyed about that fight, and it's kind of against him a little bit, was he was so confident that he won that fight. Just hella confident. And then when he lost that decision, he was just so upset. And I actually did some digging into the stats. And frankly, when you look at the numbers themselves, the only round he might have been able to steal was maybe the second because he had a takedown. But in the rest of those, they were pretty inactive rounds for the most part, with combined strikes of under 30 in the first and third rounds. But at the same time, I really enjoyed seeing how Moraes was able to finish that fight. I think he put up closer to 15 to 20 total strikes, whereas Zahabi came up with not even 10. So when you look at the fight from a complete round by round standpoint, yeah, he might have stolen that second, but that first and third was not going his way, and you came away with the unanimous 29-20 across the board. So it was just funny to rewatch that fight, and then now see him kind of complain about that, revisit the card, and revisit the numbers of the strikes themselves, and just see that he was completely outpointed. Where I'm going with this, funny enough, you actually have a memory of Rodriguez that you don't even know, but Drako Rodriguez is actually a fighter that I was working on something for us, and the Contender Series was on, and I was just quickly watching it on the second monitor here while I was editing our stuff, and you just weren't able to get it in time, but we took that Contender Series bet on Rodriguez as a dog because the other guy was so good, and I just watched some quick tape on it while I was working on our stuff. I'm like, no, we'll roll with that dog, and he ended up. And what's funny is I loved what he did. He locked in the triangle, and no matter what was done against him, he was able to kind of keep the classic slam, right? Lift him up, put him down. Wasn't able to do that. Punches to the face while he was not phased. He was able to keep finding ways to lock up that triangle. He was grabbing the leg the way he should to keep that body tight. Everything about the technique there was just about, it's the way I make fun about Charles Oliveira, the way I kind of jokingly said, I've seen him get punched in the face regularly just to lock up that submission. Very similar mindset, right? The idea there that, anything that he was trying to do to get out of it just wasn't working for him, and boom, boom, boom. basically went out, saw the tap, it was done. He got the win. I actually really like him in this fight. I think it's a terrible fight for Zahabi. I think this might be one where we're seeing, again, the older fighter kind of making his return to the UFC because there happens to be chances available. I'm not saying that he wouldn't ever be able to fight in the UFC, more so that right now is a great chance. They're cutting fighters like crazy because they've brought in so many, but at the same time, there's only so many people willing to fight. So that's who you're seeing kind of the people getting weeded out, if you will. I think you're going to see, people with kind of rough records, people that aren't willing to fight, that kind of thing. But, all the power to Zahabi to try and get in there to rewrite the career. But, I think I've set you up real well for these odds now.
Yeah, and kind of touching on that, submission, take the pain. We kind of saw that in Chase Hooper last week as well. He looked to be losing the fight for the most part, just trying to get those submissions and everything locked in. Once he did finally get it locked in, it was easy win for him. So that's a pretty cool, interesting concept that you touched on there. In terms of these odds, where do you see it landing? Who's the Vegas favorite and by how much?
Yeah, so I don't even want to waste time, Pies. There's just zero chance of, in my opinion, of Zahabi being the favorite here. There's just nothing really to go on. You don't have the UFC background. All you really have is the coaching and maybe, potential that you were talking about maybe a year or two ago. So I'm actually going to go with my KOTC veteran and Drako Rodriguez. I love the Contender Series performance. I want him to do well. So I'm going with Rodriguez as a -130 favorite. I have a feeling I'm not even being, strict enough, or as you say, hard on Zahabi, but yeah, that could be low.
It is a tad low, still kind of right on the barrier of your 50-point basis range, but he's a -188 favorite, and it has not moved. Yeah, in the last 48 hours, it has stayed put. So it looks like he's going to be locked in at a -188 favorite.
I'll be honest, man. That's a strong line, and one thing that we actually did last week, and we've been trying to get better at, is as we start to explore these lines live, and even getting exposure to some of the more prop style bets, like keeping a lock on them and keeping a watch on them to get them in, because that's one, dude, where that could move against us, I think, and it's hard for us to not predict that anymore because we just see it happen every single week. The movement in that Souza Holland line was kind of interesting to watch too, depending on which way you were trying to bet. But I think this is one where, at -188, very similar to Mackenzie Dern. I mean, she actually didn't come as close to finishing at all as some might have thought. And it looks like she wanted to practice her striking there, but very similar line, right? The -188s. I do see him, being able to exploit that line very similarly, if not do even better.
Yeah, and I would not be shocked to wake up on Saturday and see that as a -200, -225.
Exactly, my man. Exactly.
Perfect. Overall, it's going to be a great card. Tune in, UFC this Saturday, December 19th. For us, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter. Our picks go up all of there, along with all of our other content, clips of our videos from YouTube. Other great MMA content is on the Kaizen MMA. Make sure you check it all out. Give us a follow, give us a subscribe, give us a comment, engage in conversation, whatever you may want to do to kind of further this. Anything else, Siraj?
No, man, everything. You just hit nail on the head. Let's finish the year strong. This is the last fight card for us. We're going to be going real hard at this one, just to have some fun with it. We're really excited for the next couple of weeks to be able to develop, our niche, our market. It's going to be really fun for us, and so we're really excited for 2021. And if we don't really, since we don't have a card, as the vet, the bet, and the casual, happy holidays, happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you for the next card. But maybe we get you some new content in that time. We shall see.
Yeah, perfect. You said it best, man. Happy holidays to everybody. Thank you for all your support. And Siraj, great seeing you as always, man.
You, my boy. I love you. Peace.
Take care.